You think you know what your HOA fees cover, right? Well, you might want to think again. There are certain situations that can trigger these fees to drastically increase. And if it does, it can catch homeowners completely off guard. Hi, my name is Casey, and on this channel, I share tips and insights about the 55 and older communities here in Southern California. And in this video, I'm going to discuss everyone's favorite topic, and that's HOA fees. But I'm not going to talk about your regular monthly fee. I'm going to discuss the HOA fees that nobody really warned you about. Now, when you buy a home in a senior community, we all expect to pay a monthly HOA fee. But the reality is, there are some circumstances that can happen that can cause your HOA fees to go up. And depending on what it is, they can go up a lot. So let me show you 5 fees you definitely want to know about before you buy a home in an HOA community. Number 1, special assessments. Now, when most people hear the term special assessments, they automatically think about property taxes. Now, special assessment taxes are additional taxes that are added to your property taxes in newer communities, and they're used to pay for things like roads, parks, schools, and services. But I'm not talking about these kind of taxes. These special assessments are different. This is an extra fee that can be charged by your HOA when there's a large, unexpected expense that can't be covered by the community's reserve funds. And this could be for something like a major roof repair at the clubhouse, or any significant damage to an aging portion of the infrastructure. But the cost of a major repair can't be divided up between every homeowner in the community, and these are called special assessments. And here's the important part. Every homeowner has to pay this assessment, and if they don't, a lien can be placed on your home. Now, this situation doesn't happen very often, but it can, and I've actually seen it happen. And when it does, this added expense can really catch homeowners off guard. So before you buy a home in any community, you really need to look at the community's reserve funds. Now, this is a great way to tell if a special assessment might be right around the corner. Number 2, annual HOA fee increases. Now, HOA fees almost always go up. And even if you start out at just $350 a month, most HOAs see an annual increase of between 3 and 5% per year. Now, this may not seem like much, but it can add up faster than you think. Let's say your HOA fee goes up by 5% per year. Now, in just 5 years, that $350 fee now becomes $445. And again, you might be saying, it's just $100. But if you're living on a fixed income in retirement, it can affect your budget. And I'm not saying these increases are sneaky or misleading, because the reality is, it's how an HOA keeps up with inflation and rising maintenance costs. But it's definitely something to plan for when you buy a home in an HOA community. Now, real quickly before we move on, if you're finding this video helpful and you want more honest insights about 55 and older communities here in Southern California, hit that subscribe button down below. I post a new video every week breaking down exactly what you need to know before making this life-changing decision. Okay, let's get back to number 3, and that's transfer fees. Now, here's one that most homeowners don't find out about until they try to sell their home, and that's called the HOA transfer fee. Now, when you sell your home in a community with an HOA, you do have to pay a fee to transfer your HOA to the buyer of your home. And this fee varies, but in our local communities, the transfer is between $400 and $500. But in addition to this transfer fee, you also have to provide copies of the actual HOA documents and financial reports to the new buyer as well. And your HOA does charge you for these documents. But here's the shocking part. These documents can easily cost you over $1,000. And sadly, there's no way around this one. When you sell your home, you are required to provide copies to the new buyer. And number 4, insurance-related cost. Now, another hidden cost that is becoming a bigger issue, especially here in California, is insurance. And even if your home isn't directly affected by wildfires or flooding, the community's master insurance plan might be. And if these insurance premiums go up, which they have in many communities here in Southern California, the HOA often has to increase the monthly dues to cover the higher premiums. Now, unfortunately, this is part of the reality of living in California. So if you're considering buying a home in a senior community here, it's a good idea to ask if insurance costs have been rising and if it's affecting the HOA fees. And finally, number 5, capital improvements. Capital improvements are large planned projects that the HOA takes on to upgrade or add amenities to the community. So things like renovating the clubhouse, resurfacing tennis courts or swimming pools, or building new pickleball courts. These could be great for property values and the lifestyle within the community, but they're not free. So these costs often come from monthly HOA fees and the reserves that have been building up. But if the costs exceed the reserve amount, these capital improvements can be passed on to each individual homeowner in the community. And while these improvements are often good for a community and help keep property values strong, there's still something to keep an eye on because they can affect your budget in retirement. So while HOA fees in 55 and older communities cover a lot of great amenities, it's important to know what's included and what could change over time. But it's really important to keep in mind that an HOA can put a lien on your home if you don't pay your HOA fees. And this includes supplemental assessments and capital improvements because these are considered a form of an assessment. And if you fail to pay these fees, the HOA can put a lien on your home. And a lien can make it hard to sell or refinance your home because the lien has to be paid before the sale or refinance can go through. And in some severe cases, the HOA can actually initiate foreclosure proceedings to sell your home and recover the outstanding balance. And nobody wants to see this happen. So if you have any questions about buying or selling a home here in Southern California, I'd be happy to help. And I'll make sure to answer all of your questions about any HOA fees so you can avoid any of these problems along the way. Now thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.